From Good to Gutsy, a 9-part system to design your career momentum. Today, we're going to learn a system you can run your career on. If your calendar is full, your inbox is on fire, and yet your opportunities are not getting bigger, you're not the problem. Your operating system is. Many of us grew up with a script that says, follow every rule, be pleasant, over-deliver, and wait to be noticed. That script produces hard work, but not always momentum. Here's the modern reframe. You don't need to be louder, meaner, or less kind. You need a system that focuses your effort on moves that actually create lift. Clarity, ask skills, strategic relationships, early conflict resolution, educated intuition, and smart risks you can survive if they flop. I call it the Good to Gutsy system. It's inclusive, role agnostic, and it works in office, hybrid, or fully remote teams. By the end of this lesson, you'll have 9 practical pillars, each with scripts, numbers to try, and a weekly cadence that keeps you compounding gains. Let's build it. Pillar 1, online mission. 90-day 34 moves. If your workday were a GPS, what address did you enter? Most careers drift because the address is fuzzy. Boil your mission down to one line you can say without notes. Example, I turn complex customer feedback into clear product decisions that reduce churn. That one line becomes the filter for what you take on, what you cut, and how you explain your value. Now zoom into the next 90 days. Pick 3 or 4 moves that, if finished, would materially advance that mission. These are not vague hopes like improved communication. They're shippable projects with an outcome and an owner, for instance. Ship a 3-page voice of customer brief monthly to execs. Target 3% churn reduction by Q3. Pilot a 1-click cancellation survey. Get 500 responses. Identify top 3 issues. Train 2 deputies to run weekly prioritization without me. Publish a case study with 1 lighthouse customer. Why 34? Because most roles can fully land only that many significant wins alongside maintenance work. Treat everything else as optional until the moves are shipped. This is not about being inflexible. It's about protecting momentum. Quick test. If your boss's boss asked what you're building this quarter, could you state your online mission and your 34 moves in 20 seconds? If not, you're running on hope, not design. Pillar 2, the essentialist calendar. Double to-do plus protected focus blocks. Busy people run 1 to-do list. Focused people run 2. Mission moves, your 34 quarterly projects. Maintenance, everything else required to keep the lights on. Put these every morning. Pull 12 items from mission moves into your day before you schedule maintenance. Now defend time to work on them. A practical starting point. Block 2 90-minute focus sessions per week per move. 4 moves equals roughly 8 focus blocks weekly in a heavy quarter. If that's unrealistic, you've too many moves. Use a visible label in your calendar like focus, move 2 customer case study. Set your status to don't disturb during blocks in Slack or Teams. Point to office hours later the same day. Add 1 more weapon, a stop doing list. Every week, kill or pause 12 tasks that don't feed the mission. For meetings you don't need to own, send a delegate, switch to a monthly digest, or ask for an async update. Here's why that matters. Your calendar is a budget, and budgets with no cuts always run deficits. Pillar 3, the ask protocol. Timing, framing, silence, fallback, unasked needs are usually unfunded. The ask protocol turns awkward requests into normal business. Timing, ask when you've momentum or when the other person has capacity. A typical sweet spot is midweek mornings after you've shipped something visible, or immediately after a green metric. Avoid right after bad news, right before a deadline, or at the tail end of a packed meeting. Framing, lead with value, then the clear ask, then how low risk it's to say yes, a simple template. Value. We cut onboarding time by 18% last month. Ask. I would like to pilot a 3-month contractor to finish automation. DeRisk. It's capped at 120 hours and will sunset the engagement if we miss milestone B. Silence. After you ask, stop talking, count 3 slow beats in your head. Silence feels scary, but it's where decisions happen. Fallback asks. If the first ask is a no, follow with one of these. What data would change your mind? I will bring it in 2 weeks. If not budget, can we trade? Scope, a title adjustment, or visibility on the QBR. Can we revisit this after we hit milestone B? I will book a placeholder, practice the whole protocol out loud before the meeting. Record yourself once. Most people discover they bury the ask under too much preamble. Make it clean, then quiet. Pillar 4, the ally map across functions and levels. Momentum is not solo. It's networked. Build an ally map that cuts across functions and levels, so you're never one introduction away from progress. Create a simple 4x grid. Functions across the top, e.g. product sales, ops, finance, and levels down the side, peer, senior, exec, external. Fill 812 names. People who hold information, influence, or execution capacity you'll need in the next 2 quarters. Now run a light touch cadence, 12 quick touches per week. Forward a relevant data point. Invite a 15-minute idea swap or send a crisp summary of a shared metric. Monthly short syncs with your top 4 allies. Agenda, your plan, their plan, where you can trade favors, share credit publicly. After a win, post a 4-sentence summary tagging collaborators with a line about what each unlocked. Allies are built with deposits before withdrawals. If you only ping people when you need a rescue, your relationships are debt, not equity. Pillar 5, the conflict early rule, one-on-one scripts and escalation ladder. The longer you wait, the messier it gets. Address friction one-on-one early. Keep it private, specific, and short. A simple 3-part script, observation. In the last 2 meetings, the testing dates moved without looping us in. Impact. We lost 10 hours rework and slipped the release. Ask. Can we agree that any date change triggers a same-day Slack note to the owners? If they push back, try. Let's test it for 2 sprints. If it saves time, we keep it. Escalation ladder when needed. One-on-one within 48 hours of the issue. 2, if no change, add a neutral third party to clarify roles. 3, document the agreement in the project channel. 4, if still blocked, escalate once with a solutions memo. Options, trade-offs. And your recommendation. Calibrate for culture. Some teams prefer direct Slack notes, others want a short call. For distributed teams, record a 2-minute loom walking through the facts. The goal is not to win a debate, it's to restore flow fast. Pillar 6, the educated gut. Data field decide log. Great decisions are not purely analytic or purely intuitive, they're layered. Do the homework, then listen to how it sits in your body, then decide, then learn. Try this 4-step cadence. Data, do a 60-minute sweep for the 5 numbers that matter. If you can't find them, design a quick test to get a signal. Feel, ask, what does this feel like? You know, heavy, light, exciting, or forced. Our nervous systems are pattern detectors. That sensation is data too, especially when you've done the prep. Decide, time box common decisions. For medium bets, 72 hours is reasonable. For big bets, set a decision date and what new info you need before then. Log, keep a 1-page decision log. Columns, date, decision, inputs, gut rating 15. Decision owner, revisit date. Review monthly. Patterns emerge fast. Where your intuition is strong, where you overanalyze, where you undercollect data. Over time, your gut gets smarter, not because of magic, but because you're feeding it clean reps. Pillar 7, the smart risk canvas. Reframe downside math, safety nets. Momentum requires some bets. Smart doesn't mean safe. It means survivable and asymmetric. Sketch a 1-page canvas before you pitch a bold move. Reframe. Describe the risk as an experiment with a learning goal. 3-week pilot to cut onboarding by 20%, measure time to first value. Downside math. Name the realistic worst case, the cost of that worst case, and its probability. Example. Worst case is we spend 40 hours and revert. At an internal rate of 100 GHz, that's $4,000. Likelihood 20%. Upside math. Name the realistic best case and its value. If we cut onboarding by 20%, we lower support load by 820% and free 200 hours or a quarter. Safety nets. List 23 protections. Examples: stage gates, kill switch metrics, a sponsor who agrees to unblock, and a reversible rollout, opt in first. Add a quick pre-mortem. It failed because X. So we'll do Y now to prevent X. When you present, lead with how you'll keep the floor from collapsing, not just how high the ceiling could be. Leaders say yes more when they see your shock absorbers. Pillar 8, the visibility engine. Own your narrative and show the work. Work doesn't speak for itself in noisy systems. You have to show it briefly and regularly. Visibility is not vanity. It's how opportunities find you. Build a simple engine, online tagline that matches your mission. I reduce churn with fast customer insights, or I ship secure infra without slowing teams. Monthly wins and learns note. 5 bullets, 3 screens max, posted to the right channel or sent to your skip level. Embed 1 chart or screenshot. Lighthouse moments. Once per quarter, host a 15-minute live demo or a 2-minute screen recording that shows a before, after. Focus on the business outcome, not the feature tour, meeting brevity. Learn to answer in 20-30 seconds, then ask, do you want detail A or B? That keeps you in the pocket without monologuing. Visibility should credit others, note trade-offs, and tie back to goals. That combination builds reputation without triggering cynicism. Pillar 9, the negotiation portfolio, year-round multi-lever strategy. Don't treat negotiation as a once-a-year salary duel. It's a portfolio you manage year-round. Compensation, scope, resources, flexibility, learning, and visibility. Run it like this. Keep a living document of your impact, metrics, testimonials, and before-after snapshots. Update monthly. Set quarterly calibration chats with your manager. Given our goals, where could I add more value next quarter, and how would we measure that? When you ask, negotiate multiple levers. If cash is tight, explore title, equity, a spot bonus for a delivered milestone, headcount, budget, or presenting your work at the next all hands. Anchor with outcomes. Over 6 months, I reduced cycle time 22% and saved roughly 180. I would like to move to senior level and adjust compensation to the typical range for that scope. End with a next step on the calendar. If the answer is not now, ask, what specific outcomes by which date would make this a yes? Can we put a review on the calendar for that week? The through line here is proactive rhythm, not one big showdown. Drea, integration. A weekly cadence that compounds. A system only works if you run it. Here's a weekly rhythm many professionals find sustainable. Friday, 20 minutes. Update your decision log and your wins and learns draft. Prune the stop doing list by 1 item, Monday, 15 minutes. Rehearse 1 ask protocol you'll run this week. Put it on the calendar. 8-10 focus blocks, 2 per mission move. Adjust if you're consistently missing them. 1 ally touch, a quick note, or a 15-minute swap. 1 visibility act, a short post, a demo, or a clear summary in a key meeting. 1 risk step, progress a pilot by 1 unit. Run the test, analyze the result, or schedule the stage gate. When you string weeks like this together, you stop waiting and start accumulating. Modern notes and safeguards. Remote, chat, hybrid. Default to short recorded walkthroughs for decisions and demos. Write tight. Use channel summaries to keep stakeholders aligned. Cross-cultural teams, calibrate directness, pair your early conflict script with respectful context and written follow-ups. Data and privacy. When logging metrics or sharing wins, respect confidentiality and legal constraints. Verify your company's policies before you publish anything externally. Compliance and safety. Before implementing process or tooling changes, verify final specs with your manager, security, and relevant compliance teams. Real-world constraints and codes vary by industry and region. Closing, here's the take-home idea. Careers don't reward perfect compliance. They reward clear direction, essential focus, proactive asks, early repairs, informed decisiveness, and risks that pay more than they cost. You don't need to change your personality to run this system. You just need to schedule it. Pick your online mission. Choose your 34 90-day moves. Block your first 2 focus sessions and make one ask this week. Small steps, repeated. Build momentum that looks like luck from the outside. If this was useful, subscribe for more practical systems. In the comments, post your online mission and your top 34 moves for the next 90 days. I will read them and offer suggestions. And check the description for the printable checklist so you can run this playbook on Monday.